This section we will be discussing high performance computing, high throughput computing. They are popularly known as HPC and HTC. So before we move on, let me make one thing very clear. All computing techniques which we are going to discuss as part of this syllabus, they all come under distributed computing, right? So high performance computing, high throughput computing, cloud computing, right, grid computing, etc., whatever maximum computing techniques which we will study in this subject, they all come under distributed computing, right? So in order to explain this word high performance computing, high throughput computing, I'll just give you an example, friends, right? Just imagine I have 100 terabyte of video file, one single file. Just imagine I have 100 TB file, or maybe 1000 terabyte, whatever it is. Just imagine 100 terabyte video file I have. It's a very big file, friends, right? I have 100 terabyte video file, right? This is an example, right? Now what I want is, I wanted to check whether in that 100 terabyte video file there exists a cat or not, right? Please try to understand the problem. I have a 100 TB video file. I would like to know whether there exists a cat in that particular file or not, or whether maybe some other object, right? So what you will do, you have to process that 100 TB file, right? Just imagine how much time you need to process that 100 terabyte file, right? So is it possible to load a 100 terabyte file in one single machine, one RAM, then run some algorithm to process that file and search for an object called as presence of cat or absence of cat? Just imagine how much time it will take. So obviously with one machine, with a centralized computing kind of framework, it is highly impossible. So what I need a distributed computing mechanism. So again, in distributed computing, what kind of method I should approach, what kind of exact computing technique I should use so that this task can be solved. So what preferably we do is, we divide this 100 terabyte file into pieces, right? So this 100 terabyte file, this 100 TB file will be divided into pieces. Just imagine, friends, I have computers which can easily process 1 TB file. Just imagine I have computers which can easily process 1 terabyte file. So what I do is, I divide this 100 terabyte file into 100 pieces. 1, 2, 3, dot, dot, dot. 100. Each piece will be given to one computing engine or one machine. So this 100 terabyte file is now divided into 100 pieces of 1 terabyte each, and it is given to 100 different machines which can easily process a 1 TB file. So just imagine, friends, what I am doing now. Now all these 100 machines will work parallelly, right? They work simultaneously. They process their unit of file. So for 1 TB will be processed by machine 1, another TB will be processed by machine 2, right? Now friends, please observe carefully. I got the result from machine 1 saying that in this 1 TB cat was not found. Similarly, from this second one I got, from second one also I got the response saying that cat not found. Friends, just imagine, from 99 machines, I got the response saying that cat not found. Maybe out of these 101 machine is still working, right? It is yet to give its result. So 99 machines told that there is no cat in those video file, parts of those video file. Now without waiting for that 100th machine, can I conclude that there is no cat in this 100 TB file? Can I do that? Obviously not. So in order to come to final conclusion, in order to get my final result, what was my final result? I would like to know whether there is a cat in this 100 TB file or not. So in order to get my final result, what I should do, I should wait for all 100 machines to give their results. I should combine the results of all these machines, I should come to a conclusion. So in that case, there is a strong dependency among these machines or not? Yes. If 99 machines tell that there is no cat in these 99 terabytes of data, still I can't conclude and I can't make a statement that in this 100 TB file there is no cat. I can't make a statement. Because maybe in the last terabyte 1 TB which was given to the 100th machine, due to some technical issue that machine is not yet, and it has not yet given the result, it is still working. So just imagine what happens if this 100th machine will give me a result saying that in that portion of video there is a cat. So I can't make a statement with 99 machines results. I need to wait for 100 machines to give their result. So can I say that there is a strong dependency among all these machines? Yes or no? Right? Obviously yes. So such kind of examples, right? Please observe friends, in this example we need high performance. We are dealing with a very big task, right? So these kind of applications, they come under high performance computing tasks. This is an example of HPC, right? This is an example of HPC. So high performance tasks wherein you find some strong coupling, where you find strong dependency, we call it as strongly coupled. Strongly coupled. This is an important word, my dear friends. So if 100 machines are working for me, and if 99 machines have already completed their job, still I need to wait for my 100th machine to complete the job, then only I can announce my result. But same thing can't be applicable in every other requirement. So based on the kind of requirement, you have to select the appropriate computing technique. So in this particular example, where a single large 100 terabyte file has to be processed, right? In that case, I need high performance, and there is a strong coupling, right? So this kind of computing, computing mechanism where strong coupling is there, we call such computing technique as high performance computing, right? Quite contradiction. I'll give you another example. Right? Wherein you really believe that there is a need for high performance, huge computations are needed, right? High computing facility is needed, but you are not in a position to wait for any other machine to perform, right? I'll give you a beautiful example, right? So that you will understand what exactly is high throughput computing. So high performance computing, please try to remember this video example, right? All these things are again given in the notes, you need not worry. So friends, I hope this is clear, right? If this is not clear, I hope it is clear, but still if you have any confusions, this video recorded lecture will be shared, and in the online class we will definitely have a discussion again on all these topics, right? So I hope friends things are clear. So we will move to high throughput computing. We will take another beautiful example. For your convenience, I am using a different color, HTC. I will give you another example. Right? Friends, do you think Google is running on one machine? You use Google search, right? Day in, day out we use Google search, and probably without Google search we can't even live. Right? Now just imagine friends, how many people are using Google search every day? Or at any given point of time, if you see how many people are using Google search, it's a big number, right? And do you think Google is running only one server and all people are hitting that same server? Obviously not, right? So again, this is example of a distributed computing. So if you take example of Google search, right? This Google search engine, right? how many machines are being used in Google to run this application called as Google search. Just imagine friends, it will be in thousands of machines, thousands of high-end servers will be running, right? So just imagine friends, if you are typing something in Google, right, and if Google says already 10,000 people are in the queue, you have to wait, will you use Google? Right? Obviously not. So what do you expect from Google? The moment you type something, you want an immediate response, right? And same is the requirement of all other people who are typing or all other people who are searching something in the Google, right? Everybody wants immediate response from Google, right? Just imagine friends, I have typed something in Google, right? How to write a Python program. I want an immediate response, right? Similarly, you might have typed something in Google at the same point of time. You might have typed like, I would like to learn Android. You want immediate response. Now, if Google says, no, already 10,000 people have typed similar kind of request, already 10,000 people are in the queue, you have to wait. Will you wait? Obviously not, right? So what I want, do you need high performance or not? Yes, I need high performance, because how many people are hitting Google at any given point of time? Big number, huge number of people are hitting Google search at any given point of time. So obviously again I need a distributed mechanism where thousands of computers are connected. Right? It's a big network of machines. All machines are working. Now friend, if I type something in Google search, my request is an independent request. I need not wait for someone else's request to be processed. Now what Google has to do, please try to compare this example with our previous example. In previous example, 100 machines were working on a common task. In high performance task, all these machines which are there in the distributed computing framework, they work for a common goal. 100 terabyte file was divided into 100 pieces, and the objective was to find whether there is a cat in that 100 TB file or not. So all these 100 machines were working in order to solve a common problem. So the goal was common. That was a common goal. All machines were working towards a common goal. That is an important point to be noted in high performance computing. Whereas in high throughput computing, friends, it's not common goal. Each and every request is independent. I am typing something in Google, right? You type something in Google, they are all independent requests. My request has to be processed independently. Why should I wait for someone else? You type something in Google, you want immediate answer. I type something in Google, I want immediate answer. So what you are expecting from Google? You are expecting Google to handle all our requests independently, right? So the word strongly coupled was used in high performance computing. Here we use a word loosely coupled. Loosely coupled means my request is independent and it has to be processed independently. You type something in Google, it is independent, it has to be processed independently. But one thing is clear, if 1,000 people are hitting, Google is responding. If 1 lakh people are hitting Google, Google is responding. Means there is a huge computing facility available in Google search engine. Means it's a distributed computing framework. Thousands of machines are being used in order to run this application called as Google search. Right? So Google search is a beautiful example of high throughput computing, friends. Right? So that's the difference between high performance computing and high throughput computing. The word throughput itself says, probably you might have studied in a subject like computer organization, high throughput. The word throughput means in a given unit of time how many events occurred or how many tasks you have completed. Right? In our previous example of HPC, it was only one task. Maybe it was a very, very big task, right? But it was only one task. Whereas in Google search, what will happen? 1 lakh people are hitting Google and Google is responding. All these 1 lakh requests are independent requests. So you can say in 1 minute, maybe Google has solved 100 queries or the 1 lakh queries. So throughput, the word throughput was intentionally used to say that the number of how many responses you have given, how many requests you have processed. Since here we deal with the number of events occurred or number of requests that are actually processed, the word throughput has been used. So friends, that is what is HTC, right? So I hope you understood the difference between high performance computing and high throughput computing. High performance computing is also distributed computing. High throughput computing is also distributed computing. Both are used when you are dealing with very complex and big tasks to be processed in a very less amount of time, right? Especially when you are dealing with a very big task which has to be processed as a single unit. You go for HPC, that 100 TB example which we have seen. You have small jobs to be processed independently, but they are huge in number, right? If I am searching something in Google, it's a very small job, but how many people are searching in Google at a time? It's a big number. So it is not a big task, rather it is a big collection of small jobs, right? So when you are dealing with big collection of small jobs, again you need lot of computation power, but these jobs need to be processed independently. So when you are dealing with such kind of applications, you go for HTC, high throughput computing. So I hope you understood what is HTC and what is HPC, right? So when you are dealing with some strongly coupled applications, you go for HPC, and when you are dealing with loosely coupled applications, right, again wherein you need huge amount of computational power, you go for HTC, right? So in the next section, in the next class, we will see cluster computing. Hope HPC and HTC are clear, and some other examples are also mentioned in detail in our lecture notes, right? Thank you friends.